So here we are in the quarterfinals of Friday Night Magic from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name, as always, is Zachary Evans. I'm joined here by Garrett Meadows, and we are watching this top 8 match featuring Jonathan Wright, who we've seen multiple times on camera tonight. He is the reason we're playing this top 8, so congratulations to him for providing us with, it might be selfish in my regard, but I do enjoy watching the top 8 matches. We try to get some fun games on earlier in the night, but the top 8 is when the cream rises to the proverbial top. He is playing American Flash deck, switching from the Geist of St. Traff build he's run in
because he found Boris Reckoners.
Yeah, now playing Boris Reckoners. I did like the Geist before. I mean, the reason he did so well at that Star City game.
Yeah.
And he's playing against Justin Sayre. He's playing an interesting Esper control deck with all the usual charm-based removal and things like that. But he does have Mind Grind and he does have Consuming Aberration. So, interesting options. It's going to be an interesting match here too, because in this game, usually the matchup favors the Drownyard player.
Yeah. The blue-white red deck has a very hard time beating Drownyards.
Yes.
Plain and simple.
Augur Bolus on turn 2.
He might be met with another Augur Bolus.
Whiffs. That's the 6th Augur tonight that's whiffed. 4 of them have been from Jonathan.
Well, these decks do play a lot more creatures now.
Yes.
So I think the spell count might be
these are not Delver decks. These are not like 30 spell decks.
So with 20, like, you're going to miss more often than not. With Searing Spear, Augur Bolus. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's not going to see a lot of 3 toughness creatures this game. Like, he plans on seeing Lingering Souls and Restoration Angel, probably.
And he's not going to be able to burn him out. Like, the situations where you're going to be able to Spear, Snap, Spear, Boris Charm are very narrow.
Right. The blue-white red deck, very good, playing draw good. And there's a Snap Spear.
It is in fact Snap Spear.
Like, that's fine, even if, like, this doesn't give Jonathan any information. Justin could have very many counterspells in his hand, but you never want to counterspell, like, to save your Augur. Saving your Augur is about 15th on the list of priorities in a control matchup.
Augur is just a cantrip that occasionally blocks something.
Right. It's something to shrink your deck.
Yeah, an interesting comment in the chat is curious why people aren't playing more Ghost Quarters, since Wolf Run and Drownyard are such key linchpins to a lot of decks. But the problem with that card, I think, mostly is that
It could be dead.
Huh?
It could be a dead card. It could just be a card.
It's dead in a lot of mana, dead in a lot of matchups. But like you say, like, these decks have such greedy mana bases as it is. Like, the last thing you want to do is proactively put in 1 or 2 colorless sources. Right. But I mean, it is a vibe. I mean, if you're not playing that kind of greedy mana base, then it's probably worth investigating.
Yeah.
It's the same reason like
decks
like
you're in Ghost Quarters and Karma's going to say, hey, play against Mono Red. Play against something where Ghost Quarters is completely ineffective.
That's interesting. Into turn, Justin went with Devour Flesh, and Jonathan chose to sack the Snapcaster.
He might have a Restoration Angel. Like, Restoration Angel on Augur is probably better than Restoration Angel on Snapcaster with no cards in the graveyard.
Especially at this point in the game, too, where he can't get any value off the Snapcaster.
While you're tapped out, I'm going to cast my bigger spell.
Sphinx's Revelation for 3.
Go ahead and draw your 1 card.
Nets, Justin. Oh, I mentioned this earlier, and I'm going to mention it now, even though no one cares, and all it is self-serving brag. But I was playing against another guy at the shop on Wednesday, playing Dr. Matt's American Flash deck that he left here when he was in last week, playing against like a Wolf Run Bant type deck. And at one point, my opponent, with no cards in hand at the end of my turn, tapped out for Sphinx's Revelation. I responded with Sphinx's Revelation for 3, leaving 2 mana up, drew an Izzet Charm, just like I planned.
Yep.
I felt like freaking James Dean. It was amazing. Like
the porn actor?
No, the Rebel Without a Cause.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just realized. You can continue to do this for a second. I need to run out and talk to Troy.
I don't know if it was right there for me to reference James Dean, the porn actor, but there's not a lot of opportunities to do so. I mean, yeah, James Dean is a porn actor. I wouldn't say Google it, but if you're feeling lucky, if you're feeling frisky tonight, Google James Dean adult filter off, or search filter off. Jonathan catching back up on lands, which also means that he's running out of spells in hand. Uh, Zach's butt catching up with my face.
Sorry, man. If only they could see all this. Still had all these.
I don't think Justin would ever hold back lands. So him not playing out lands means he's definitely drawing gas. I mean, this door's wide open and they can hear me. Zach did just grab his trade stuff, so he'll be back in just a minute. He needs to solidify trades. I do see what you guys are saying in the chat, and I'm not gonna that conversation's over. I think I've overstepped my bounds there. Jonathan filling up his graveyard. I don't know. I see Justin's deck has a lot of removal, and that's not where you want to be against the American Flash deck. Maybe he has Supreme Verdicts. The Boros Reckoner in this matchup is going to be very, very good.
I apologize for that.
Here comes the Restoration Angel. This is why we haven't been saving our Searing Spears.
Troy is here, and lives out of town now. And he has some cards I want for my cube, so I have to settle up before he goes away again.
So just more posturing for position here, trying to build up the hand before they blow their big haymakers.
I do apologize for the ambient noise, as there is apparently a pretty rousing game of some role-playing game going on in the back room, which doesn't always happen.
It's involving Ian Streggy, so there's at least one giant.
Ian Streggy's like 6'8". He's a tall man.
And he roleplays as a giant, too.
He is the Palisade Giant. There's a good altar for you, just Palisade Giant with Ian
Streggy's head on it.
So Justin has successfully resolved this Restoration Angel.
Yes.
What are Jonathan's direct outs to that, other than some kind of 2-for-1?
Just another Restoration Angel block and Harvest Pyre.
Harvest Pyre, he only plays one Harvest Pyre.
Right, but blowing it is fine.
You're never going to be able to Reckoner combo this deck.
I think he has Pillar Flame in his deck, so he can attack with a Restoration Angel and then Pillar post-combat.
He does. He has Pillar in for this game.
Yeah. First card sided out.
So
Justin keeps making some very emphatic hand gestures, and I think it's throwing me off.
We gotta step up your game, Garrett. You gotta roll with the punches. You can have people all just Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee in it with the... How could you ever commentate an Alec Myers match then?
I just played through an Alec Myers match.
Well, he does everything very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to commentate because the game is over no matter what. Someone left a playmat in here a few weeks ago, or last week, I don't know who it is.
You know what's fun to do with playmats?
What?
Act like you're a pirate.
So here's probably the most important card in this matchup. Would you argue that?
No, Sphinx of Revelation is.
Good point, but also this is no doubt very important as well. So Jace Memory Adept resolves. Use the 0 ability to mill 10 from Jonathan.
Which also means he has a Psychic Strike in his hand. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I have a soul read on Justin right now.
He has a Psychic Strike?
Yeah, he left 3 up. He played his tap land. Mm-hmm. So he either has a Dissipate or a... you don't just go Jace and into milling mode against the burn deck.
Mm. Well, Jonathan's deck's not really a burn deck, I wouldn't think, as much as it is just... so he's going to finish it off with the Pillar here?
He's had to have had a Pillar in his hand the entire game.
Or Snapcaster's just as good.
There's the Pillar, the FNM Pillar.
Does he not have any counter magic?
He has to. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what we're debating.
He was bluffing me, as well as everybody else.
Well, I do like Psychic Strike and Dissipate.
Dissipate.
Yeah, I do like Psychic Strike. I think in that spot, I dissipate. Would you not dissipate the Snapcaster?
No, you get the Pillar out of his graveyard. He probably has a Supreme Verdict in his hand.
Well, he just cast one. Oh, you're talking about Justin has one.
Jonathan just cast his Supreme Verdict.
Yeah.
Justin has not yet cast one this game.
So there's another milled 10. Another Reckoner. A Sphinx, another Reckoner.
Wow.
And a Spear.
Please, can you guys buy like a blue snowball or something? I don't know.
What they're talking about is how I don't have a pop filter for this USB mic, which means that there's a lot of... No, there's a lot of, like, hissing and crackling and stuff because of that. The Blue Snowball is a more higher-end
bring
microphone.
down my very high-quality stage mic?
Here's what I would...
You like droop it from the ceiling,
remember that, like, this poor little laptop has to power all of this stuff, too.
Right.
What I would suggest to that individual in the chat is that I'm very well aware of that, and I would love to have better equipment. Not just my microphone, but my computer, my cameras, and things like that. But considering how I do all of this out of my own pocket at a loss, I'm not going to rush right out and buy even more equipment. So
we see a draw 2, discard 2.
There's a convenient way to donate cash at the bottom of the stream via the Chip-In app, so feel free to kick in a buck or two.
Didn't see what he discarded. I do see him counting his deck, though. That's...
never a good sign.
Yeah. He's looking for that last Reckoner. I think he earns 3. So, or he's just going to scoop him up. Or play a Restoration Angel main phase. Looking for a pillar or a spear. Did not find one. Alright. So, as predicted by Zach Smells Magic, Esper Control beats Blue White Red.
I mean, it's not like unwinnable, but it's close.
Well, Did Jonathan resolve a Sphinx's Revelation in that game?
No.
It was not the Drown Yards, it was not the Jace. It was that Justin had 7 cards in his hand that he wanted to keep.
Well, Jonathan never ran low on card, actually, business, as we see his entire sideboard come in, as it should, because, like, he's pre-sideboard against so many decks in this metagame. It's mostly the
control decks that he has.
So he's going to bring in probably his own Jaces.
Yep.
He might bring in...
Might have Pithing Needles.
He might bring in the Geists.
Does he have Geists in the sideboard still?
I don't know if he does. Usually when you're playing the Reckoner in the main, you have the Geists in the board because it's just better against different decks.
I don't know. Justin has all the Edict effects, and he might leave in a number of Supreme Verdicts.
Yeah, he is playing that. I don't know. I don't know if Geist is well placed anymore, which is funny how quickly it can kind of sour or whatever. But then Justin, I mean, they're all just going to bring in some number of negates. I think Jonathan, the Wright brothers always play like one copy of Dispel, which I love. Negate comes in, probably a couple counterflux as well.
Right. He is running counterflux main. It's a counterflux my Farseek whenever I was stuck on 2 lanes playing against him. Like a jerk.
I would like to point out to the individual who mentioned in the chat about the microphone that he did just say that he apologized if he thought it was mean. I didn't think it was mean. It's like I
thought it was about the rudest thing that you could ever say.
No, I appreciate feedback like that, and that is something that when I go back and edit these and I've got my earbuds on, I can very much tell like every S I say and stuff like that. It is very harsh, but it is just one of those things where I bought what I needed to do it the first time, and since it's worked.
Tell you what, not only will I bring my mic down next week, plus the adapter, because
Can we mix? Can we do some like sweet? Can we have battle raps as well?
I was going to bring my bass and just like funk out the place while you're commentating on Magic.
Boom, 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 boom. Just the Seinfeld theme song the whole time. Yeah, sound effects. And there's Jonathan Wright.
Or I could do the Ferris Bueller's theme.
And Jonathan Wright scoops in game 1. Boom, 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 boom.
Or I could just play just bring my bass and play like death metal lines. Which I don't know if you've ever played bass for a death metal band. I have.
Oh, I haven't. Do they have bass in that band?
Yeah, it's the guitar going to like that's literally what the bass does. Just an octave lower.
Have you ever heard the song "Sting of the Bumblebee" by Man of War?
Yes.
So I'm gonna put that in the recap post too. Remember to go to our Facebook page for the recap of everything we discussed in the chat. Facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. Click the button at the bottom of the video window and like our page, and you'll get a link to it. But yeah, Man of War, Man of War's, I guess. I don't know if they're a speed metal band, but they were in the Guinness Book of World Records at one point for having the loudest rock concert ever. But yeah, it's just a guy playing Flight of the Bumblebee on a bass, and it's like the fastest thing in the world. Other topics that are in our...
Are we going to do a Harlem Shake?
Man, they want us to, and I think it'd be funny. We can do it sometime. We'll have to do it during the week. The thing is, I just don't have time on a Friday to do it, and I want to do it with you. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore because I've got a good plan. I think it'll be funny. I think it'll be pertinent to the stream. So we'll look into that. Other things on here, talking about...
this is quarterfinals, MIDI.
Talking about the best opening... Did you see the thing I posted on Facebook about the best opening hand in Magic with the astronauts coupons where you just get all the drink? That's funny. We're talking a little bit about From the Vault 20, the new From the Vault sets.
Yep, cards in it.
We'll, of course, provide a link to our partners. Our partner
websites. Wizards.com, that's our partners.
TheMTGNoob.com.
Oh, all those guys.
And South Florida Magic. And I also wanted to talk about, or someone asked me this week, one of the followers of the stream runs a Facebook group called Midwest Magic. And he was wanting to know if I can do a shout out to them so they can help to build their numbers. I'd gladly do that. So Midwest Magic Facebook group, check them out. I would have talked about this before, but that is one of the fun things about doing this.
Networking?
Huh?
All the networking?
Yeah, it's just fun to meet people.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, if you had told me 6 months ago that, like, I would be constantly chatting on Facebook with two people from Sweden, and one of them would draw this awesome picture of me to use for stream. That's like obviously like the extreme case, but I mean, just meeting these people that we've met at different, like, I can look at half those names and they, like Chaz, George 51, Tat Mailer, Descent, Cameron's in Australia, Spike Mo, who is, I've forgotten his name, but I know, I always know who these guys are in the chat.
In case anybody has never played or watched Jonathan Wright, the slowest shuffler, I mean, he's a fast shuffler, but he's very thorough.
The Wright brothers like to shuffle. I've traded for some of the rotating staples out of Scotty Wright's collection, and they are riffled to death.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer?
Augur reveals...
Did you get one? Spirit?
Boros Charm.
Just quick to answer a question in the chat from Jace Player 77. The name of the Legacy stream I always talk about is South Florida Magic. I'll put a link in the recap post tomorrow, but it's twitch.tv/South Florida Magic. Tuesday night Legacy stream. It is somewhat intermittent. And there is a contingent of players watching from Boston. So we see turn 3
Geist. Brought him in with the... I did want to mention that if he curved Augur into Geist, like that protects you. That protects you from edict effects. As we see the preemptive Angel sliding. Oh, Angel coming onto that hook. Generally, you'll see the Angel tucked in under. The 4 blocks, Searing Spear. Gotcha. You gonna dispel this, bro?
Dispel would be a great blowout here. I would gladly trade my Dispel for a Geist of St. Trapped. What is he thinking about?
Dispelling it?
Like, you don't think about that. You just do it, right? Unless you're going to untap into Verdict. But if you're going to untap...
Unless he has 3 lands.
Oh, he does have Dispel.
Like, I mean, if you're stuck on 3 lands, you definitely want to hold your counter
That's true. That's true.
Bonus Face Revelation.
Now, if he is a Charm back, right? Or Boros Charm back. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with all of that.
Yep.
So he's going to take 5 total, drop him down to 14.
Geist was indestructible, does not die.
Boros Charm's so good.
Is it?
No, Boros.
Oh.
Did you see what we did? Boom! We've been working on that all week, guys. We brought in some writers.
Ruben Wrestler. We contacted Ruben Wrestler for a joke. Please give us one. We need one, please.
So we see Justin casting Restoration Angel on his turn, just to get it in, to make sure it resolves, as Jonathan was tapped out. But Restoration of his own, Blinking Geist, saves it in combat. Justin down to 9.
Jonathan loves this line. Jonathan loves the go all in on Geist of St. Trapped line.
Jonathan loves Geist.
Yeah.
It is paralleled only by his love for Sun Titan. which is no longer
I
available.
thought you were going to say sun tanning.
Your boy likes a nice base. Likes to bronze it up before he hits the beach, man. You got to develop a base, otherwise you get burned, son. D-Sphere, targeting the Angel, I guess, right?
Chris from South Florida Magic says, thanks for the shout out.
No problem, man.
Tell Brittany I said, hey. Tell Brittany I'll be watching her.
Also, Chris, I
Creeping her
will
out.
take this opportunity as we see Jonathan pile in with everything, sending Justin to 2 against the burn deck. But Chris, if you can tell somebody from down that way to send me...
There's the game. Snapcaster Boris.
Snapcaster Boris Charm is good enough. I mean, once you get down to 2 against the burn deck, like, it's very unlikely that you're coming back. But yeah, so Chris, talk to the guys down there, David and whoever else runs the stream. Send me some graphics so I can post them up on the stream. So we move to Game 3 here in the quarterfinals. Lots of...
It's like graphics related to their stream, or just like sweet graphics?
So graphics, just sweet graphics. So graphics like, for example, this. Oh, we're having Star City Invitational Qualifier. I can just pop up a quick splash screen and tell everybody to come down here on Saturday, March 30th to win $250. But right now, I can't do that for South Florida Magic. I can also do that for our friends at mtgnoob.com.
Do you want to send us something to plug you guys?
I can do that.
Sweet.
I can plug you just like I'm plugging our partner strategy website,
Send them the Vickers
themtgnoob.com.
picture with him just like unfolding the cards with the Nicol Bolas crown on.
Oh, somebody else did this today. For those of you who are watching after the fact and don't have access to the chat, you'll be unfamiliar with this nonsense that happened a lot earlier. But basically, everything in the chat for a period of time was something with this dog thing, and then someone made this picture. Because there's some way on Twitch, there's like some macro where you can constantly put that dog in the stream.
Right.
You see, it's right there everywhere. So that's very fun.
Frankers.
Frankers
with a capital Z.
I forget who made that picture, but thank you to them. Anything else I've got in there that's pretty fun to see before these guys get done?
You got plenty of time. This is a 5-minute shuffle. It's a picture of that kid.
Oh, I forget what that was. Oh, I posted this. Here's just another fun reason to go to the Facebook page. I know I'm biased and I'm pumping it a lot, but like there is a lot of cool stuff that's on there, both strategy related and just fun stuff. So this was I found through a friend of mine or another.
This picture's great.
This is from 2004 from Misty Mountain Games, which I believe is in Wisconsin. This is just a summary of their sales. You'll just notice some highlights on here. Just a quick $13 whiteboarded by you. Royal Assassin at $12.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
That's that M12 card that no one played.
You can just rock up a quick Savannah at $12, Taiga at $15, Traumatize from Odyssey, $14. That, of course, worth $1 more than a Bayou. Tropical Island at $16 because it's blue. Just very interesting stuff in there.
Oh, what's on the side? What's the line?
Yeah, over here, just a very casual Library of Alexandria. Of course, that picture was taken by Dan Bach. If you're not familiar with who Dan Bach is, he is like one of the leading, like, secondary market guys in that area, and he's been doing this for a long time. And he is like, he's the kind of guy that has a book full of Black Lotuses. So, well, Jonathan continues to shuffle. I'm gonna step outside and see if these guys have finished their trade with me.
Okay.
Most of my stuff.
Okay. Jonathan Wright, Master Shuffler. As we see, Justin not only shuffled, I think he was already cut, and drew his 7 and decided to keep. As Jonathan is still shuffling. There, he heard me. He heard me, guys. I'm doing this for you. Jonathan needs to not let Justin resolve any relevant spells to establishing board presence. If he can do that, if he can always keep him on his back feet and casting defensive measures like a Restoration Angel to block, a Snapcaster to block, a counter spell to save my butt, stuff like that, then Jonathan can keep the tempo of the game in his favor and just, basically like never let Justin resolve his Fix's Revelation and Sculpt his hand. But if Justin can stabilize to the point where he gets to pick which cards he wants to keep and which cards he doesn't want to keep, it's very, very bad for Jonathan. No one made top 8 with Wolf Run Band. I don't think there were any players playing Wolf Run Band tonight. I have the deck built, but audible to junk. And I don't think there's any other interest in Wolf Run Band at the store right now. It's not as fun to play as the Drownyard version for me, as we do see a Drownyard come down from Justin. Uh, and against other Drownyard decks, it is very hard to stay competitive. Like, I would say the Esper decks are favored in the Esper versus Wolfram Nightmare match. Anyway, back to the match. Shut this door so I can actually talk. Soren comes down, which is very, very, very bad for Jonathan. He did not have a Boros Charm for it. Like, a Boros Charm redirect damage to Soren solves that problem, obviously, but he has to have the card in his hand. Now Soren is going to go up to 5. As we see a card come flying in. Ew! Vampire. Does not have flying, as depicted on the screen there. We miss a land drop, which means his hand is just full of gas. Like, I think he's down to 5 cards at the end, and he's just full of gas. He has to have like Azorius Charms, and there's the Boros Charm. So maybe a Restoration Angel for Justin, maybe an Azorius Charm, maybe an Edict Effect, but he definitely just has a handful of spells. Most of the Taurus deck is very good. Like, whenever I ran it for game day, and did very well with it at game day. I lost to Jonathan Wright in the finals of game day, actually, against this blue-white-red deck. As we see Spear coming down, redirecting the sword to finish it off. That works. And we're Drownyarding. Ooh, I do not like this at all. In a deck like Jonathan's, we basically just drew 3. Yeah, the Melissa Detour deck, I did substitute out an Azorius Charm for a Devil's Play, and one of the sideboard negates, was it a negate? Yeah, I think she just ran negates. I don't think she ran the spells. I took one of the negates and made it a counterflux, which was really greedy, but it worked. Like, I always had the red for the counterflux whenever I needed it. Maybe Justin's hand is just a handful of Sorens. Boros Charm is surprisingly awesome at answering Soren. As someone who played 3 Sorens main deck tonight, I'm very surprised at how good Boros Charm is able to answer that. Like, you generally whenever you play a Soren, you think, okay, I'm going to be able to make a blocker. Soren might take 3 this turn from that Restoration Angel, but then he can live, I can untap. Nope, Boros Charm just says, see you later. So now Jonathan untaps Jonathan gets to pass the turn with all of his lands untapped and swing in for 4.
We were talking about how Boros Charm is so good against the 4 loyalty planeswalkers.
Yes.
Yeah, David Sharfman, who did really well at the Pro
Also,
Tour.
Justin uses land drop for like the past 3 turns.
That's also a good way to win.
Yeah.
Is for your opponent to get mana screwed. But yeah, David Sharfman played that deck in like the Lucky Charms deck they called it, with just like the 10 charm deck.
Okay.
And he told that's one of the reasons why Boros Charm is so powerful, is because there's so many planeswalkers that go up to 4 loyalty immediately, and then it just answers them. That, and it's like the most versatile card.
Like, it answers Jason Memory dead right off the bat too.
Mm-hmm. Question in the chat of, did we send anyone to Grand Prix Charlotte? We sent several in the contingent. We had Alec Myers, who just missed day 2, and we had Yin Sang, who went 11-6, drafted next to Shuhei Nakamura,
Yeah.
and also didn't know who it was
Yeah.
until I showed him later, and finished 124th out of 2,700 people.
Yeah.
So Yin is very good at Magic.
Surprising no one.
Yeah, I think Yin is probably just actually draft practicing for that event from doing very well at it. Because he went in and, by his own admission, said he just wasn't. He did great in the sealed and just bombed the draft.
Right. He had done 3 or 4 seals before
As we see it,
going down there.
D-Sphere take out the Angel. Yeah, like he,
If Jonathan can play Jace on his turn,
or that.
let's fix the Revelation. Is this end of turn? This is end of Justin's turn.
Yeah.
This is game.
Oh, yeah. Well, usually the control deck when the control deck misses its land drop, that's the end of the match usually.
That's exactly what happened to Jonathan game 1. Justin got ahead by like 4 lands. So we play Augur, maybe to find... Because Justin is still repping Dispel. So Jonathan might need a Dispel of his own. Or It's a Charm.
Mm-hmm.
Boros
There is a Boros Charm. And Jonathan doesn't have any ways to remove the D-Sphere once it's there, right?
Correct.
Geist is pretty brutal.
Yeah, you can't Dispel Geist.
You can untap and wrath the board, though.
What are his lands? Yeah, he has 2 white.
He's got 2 Glacial Fortress, a Watery Grave, and a Drown Yard, right?
Yeah.
There was a question in the chat about why drown him. That is a good question. Like,
You have nothing else to do.
Well, but I mean, it just fills the Snapcaster deck's graveyard with business.
Yeah, I did mention that earlier. That it is basically draw 3, but you got to do something. You got to be proactive in some way.
Snapcaster here. It is Snapcaster. Does Snapcaster resolve? I would find that hard to believe. We know he has Boros Charm.
Right. The question is
he just going to like burn him out? This smells like just burning you out.
Boros Charm, Snapcaster, or no, second Geist Sing Draft.
Yeah.
Like,
is it like I know it's like a marginal thing and like he's well ahead, but like, would you rather send your Boros Charm to the graveyard or your extra copy of?
I don't think Justin's played any relevant spells yet, so I don't necessarily want.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
from his hand, so no, I don't agree with that play.
I mean, you would have rather Boros Charm, or you would have rather not Snapcastered.
I would have rather run a different line than just suiciding my Geist to play another Geist.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd rather have a redundant copy of Geist as opposed to.
Go to the graveyard.
So Justin unfortunately has reached the discard portion of this game.
Getting to sculpt his hand in the wrong way.
Yep. So that is 6.
And he has a Boros Charm.
Boros Charm is good.
You're at 2, sir.
He's at 3 because he gains 1 life.
Yes.
From a Sorin Vampire. So you just go for the win here?
I'd go for it on his upkeep.
Yeah. Upkeep. No, he's not going to do it. Make him tap his mana. Tap his mana on his turn, but before drawing, he has a Drowned Catacomb. Which I've mentioned in previous weeks is the #1 most misspelled card in all of Magic. So people call it Drowned Catacombs.
Oh, I call it Huntsmaster of the Fells instead of Huntsmaster of the Fells.
I thought you were calling Drowned Catacomb Huntsmaster of the Fells.
Common misconception.
That's a stretch even for me. So Justin, like, thinking desperately about what to do here. Like, the problem is like he's dead on board, but he also knows if he can't do anything, which leaves him without counterspell mana up because he loses to the Boros Charm that was revealed off of the Augur. So what do you do here? Fog? Is there anything he can do?
Not an overloaded Cyclonic Rift.
Nope.
He can shake his hand.
Some very well-defined forearm muscles for competitors there. Yeah. That was a very strong handshake from these guys. Yeah. But congratulations to Jonathan. He takes the 3rd and decisive game in this quarterfinal matchup. That, I believe, was the last match in this in the quarterfinals. So now we'll see. We'll wait for the pairings to see who is going on in the semifinals and see what they're doing there. I do want to take a brief second. I haven't mentioned it all night, but if you could do us a favor, if you're enjoying the stream that you're watching, if you're watching all night, the best way to help us out is to follow us on our various forms of social media. Everything is username is ZachSellsMagic. So youtube.com/ZachSellsMagic. Everything we've ever recorded is up there, including cube drafts, booster drafts, pre-release, West Virginia State tournaments, Star City Games, Invitational Qualifier, and probably soon to be a Harlem Shake video. Probably, who knows? You can follow me at Twitter. I'm at ZachSellsMagic. Up to Magic news throughout the week, as well as funny jibber jabbers from me at various times, as well as updates about giveaways and the stream pairings go up on there as well. But more importantly, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. If you go to ZachSellsMagic.com, it will redirect you there. But updated daily with Magic strategy content, funny news aggregates from around the internet, and just a great way to interact with us and help us spread the word. And then finally, if you're watching live right now, you obviously know twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic is where the live stream is. But if you're watching on YouTube after the fact, make sure you like us on there and try to come check us out live sometime. And if you are watching on Twitch, please click the follow button above and to the left of the video window, and you'll receive an email notification anytime our stream goes live. So if we decide to do something unprompted or something that's not during our usual Friday night broadcast hours, it will remind you that we are live. You can do all of this very easily by clicking the buttons at the bottom of the page, like, follow, and subscribe. So just click on those buttons and help us out. It doesn't cost you a red cent, and is the best way to help us spread the word and thus support the stream. Now I'm going to let you see this, which is but Garrett, now that you switched over into I have to change your name, of course, to your pseudonym, which is Garrett Relentless.
This isn't even my final form.
That's not your form? You also
So
have
that's Dragon Ball Z joke.
Oh. Do you have over
forearms too.
Do you have over 9,000 power?
Defined forearms.
Mm-hmm. There's a question of whether or not we have any raffles. Every week we do give away, we do have a raffle every week, so if you want to win a play set of the rock, paper, scissors cards that we always start our feature matches with, go to facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic and look for the giveaway post. Then you can, for every time you comment, like, or share it, you get a separate entry, and then that same post was up on my Twitter account, and if you retweet that, you're also entered. So 4 separate ways to enter each and every week. We have a drawing. I didn't have time to compile the list this week, so I'll be drawing offline tomorrow for this week's giveaway, but we'll hopefully draw live during round 2 of next week's giveaway, so make sure to get in your entries. You can also, if you're watching on YouTube, you can still enter. You've got until FNM starts next week to get into that. But remember, more importantly, you are only eligible to win when I draw your name if you are liking our Facebook page or following me on Twitter. That is the biggest reason why we do this, is because it helps us to spread the word. So get all your entries in, but more importantly, make sure you like our Facebook page to start. That is how you... That's how you win the free stuff. Is it worth a ton of money? No. Is it worth a ton of sentimental value? Absolutely. I mean, where else can you get on the internet? Like, does Cedric Phillips have this guy? No, he doesn't. He does wear a funny, like, bear hat or something, doesn't he?
It's a dog.
It's a dog hat.
He's gonna come kill you now.
I don't like to watch Cedric Phillips stream. It's not a knock on Cedric Phillips. I just don't watch a lot of streams. I do watch South Florida Magic Legacy stream. I occasionally watch Travis Wu's stream. There's just something about that guy that's like entrancing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know. He also plays really fun decks.
Right.
And to be perfectly honest, one thing that I like about like streams like this, the South Florida one is also a live tournament. It's a lot more fun to watch actual people playing than watching the MTGO screen. It's just, I like it sometimes, but I don't watch a lot. The reason I mention that is because I've watched some of Cedric, but I just haven't watched a ton of it.
I got advice from Cedric Phillips this past week.
I know you did discuss your birthing pod strategy. Yeah. So is there any other questions that's going on? Spike Mo's taken off. Thanks for watching, as always. We've got Evil Beard from Indiana. We met at Star City, Cincinnati, talking about he used his rock, paper, scissors cards to start his FNM matches tonight.
Well, I thought you were going to say to start a fire to survive.
To start a fight with Justin Uppel. But no, he was, of course, the rule I always have is when I go to these major events. Like we went to Star City, Cincinnati, we went to Star City, Columbus, we're going to Grand Prix Pittsburgh later this month. The first person who comes up to me and says, hey, I know you're from the stream, introduce themselves.
Doesn't apply to me, obviously, though.
It doesn't count because you're here. Garrett, you're the best, apparently, from Evil Beard. That's good to see. Anything else going on? It is interesting someone's talking about it's interesting when they see Travis Wu on anything other than his stream because then he has a shirt on, and it's very odd because he does like to. This week I watched him a little bit, and he was playing shirtless with a cat, just petting a cat the whole time, like some kind of weird Asian Doctor Evil or Doctor No or whatever. Let me stick my head out the door.
Everybody left?
I'm here.
Right here. Zach, we need to talk about this thing.
What thing?
Are you on the camera?
I am. Is there somebody still playing?
No. They're like splitting the top four.
Well, someone could tell me this. I'll be right back.
Alright.
Just sitting in this closet.
Sorry, gotta get serious now, guys. Chopping top four would probably be like, well, it would double. Minus the 8. So it'd be 11 packs. It's not bad. I don't know if he come to play. I mean, it is 12 o'clock. It's run a little bit longer than our normal FNMs do. So I'm not going to say anything. Like, if those guys want to chop, they can chop.
We have a chop.
Alright. That's what I mean. That just didn't matter. It'd be like 11
I don't
packs
mind.
per head.
I complain a lot, and I understand it's like self-serving of me, and people can do whatever they want to. I get irritated when they chop the top 8. When they chop the top 4, it's fine. I just get tired of sitting back here and not knowing. But then I also got flawed information because they're like, JB's like, oh, we just decided we're chopping. But like multiple people I talked to have been like, oh yeah, they're chopping.
Yeah.
I don't know. Drives me a little bit nuts. You do have a funny bump on your head now, or like mark on your head from where the separator is on that. So guys, it looks like we are chopping the top 4, which was Jonathan Wright, Brandon Booth, Daniel Payne Red deck, and then Brandon Hart playing Jund. So Jund American Flash, a deck I'm not sure of, and Mono Red.
Or the barely Boros.
Barely Boros.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got a really good night tonight, I thought, in terms of viewership. We had a solid 180 the entire night. And I think if we'd actually gone to the finals, we could have gotten up to 200 plus and 300. So I appreciate everybody who's been watching. Listen, I say this all the time, but I'm dead serious. Like, I appreciate the fact that anyone watches. Like, it's amazing to me. And like tonight, during round 1, we had 180 people. So pretty cool. I appreciate your guys' support, even if you don't support financially, or even if I can't convince you to go and like our Facebook page or all that kind of stuff. I appreciate the fact that you watch. Hopefully it's good Magic. Like I say all the time, like this is the kind of stream I would watch if I was not associated with it.
I think I drove straight to Huntsville, and I don't want to talk about my game.
I don't know.
I don't want to Logan it up in here.
No big deal. So anyway, just a quick order of business at the end. Remember, head over to our Facebook page for the recap post. A lot of interesting things we talked about. I got 11 notes here, so it should be interesting. So that should be up tomorrow night, or tomorrow I should say. All the videos are going to go up on YouTube probably by Sunday, as I do have, I mentioned earlier, my wife's birthday's tomorrow, so we're having some family, and her parents are coming in, so we'll be detained for that. So happy birthday to her. But then also...
like I said, we're having some family. Also her parents.
Well, they're supposed to come in tonight, I guess, but then they didn't come in because they're from Michigan, actually.
I don't consider them family.
I don't know what's going on. It's late. But then also, so YouTube videos will go up on Sunday, and then just various stuff throughout the week like we always do. So check all that stuff out. Remember, Star City Games Invitational Qualifier on March 30th. I know I've mentioned that a ton, but like I'm not going to apologize for it or stop doing it. Like that is literally the best thing you could ever do to help our store out. So if you can come to that or spread the word. Like just, if you can't come, I understand that because people are going to be physically incapable of coming to this store. But just put it up on your Facebook page, send it, post it on Twitter, send it around to other people. If we can get
send out a mailer. Like,
we can rent billboard space, put that up there.
Community
access
shop,
TV.
Make a poster.
Print a shirt. Just wear
staple.
Big sandwich board. Stand out like a Little Caesars sign on the street. I think we basically just broke formatting.
Rent a plane. Have one of the banners that trail behind it.
All these things
fly it around your
all these things seem
area.
like very cost-effective, reasonable ways that you could help the stream. I think you're really being kind of a jerk if you
you're
don't do
bad people
it.
if you don't do it.
Yeah, so, but no, seriously, like spread the word for that. That's pretty awesome for us. And then also, remember, March 23rd, at least myself, Ian Nolte, and then possibly Garrett as well, we headed up to Pittsburgh for that Grand Prix.
Right.
So definitely want to get in some Commander games, some sweet trades, just hang out and whatnot. I'll buy you a beer, for God's sake. We'll have a good time. So
buy you a beard.
So lots of questions in the chat about if I have. Yeah, Monster made the. Let me write that down. Monster made the picture that we showed. Where is that?
Check your Twitch messages if you get time, man.
Huh?
Check your Twitch messages if you get time, man.
Did you send me one?
No, that's literally what this guy just said.
Oh, it doesn't send me a notice if I get Twitch messages. The thing about the Twitch is like you can't I've mentioned this before. You can't archive the chat.
Right.
So like once I leave, I don't actually close it, and then I go home and paste it sometimes into a Word document. But it's just like it's very difficult because it doesn't go all the way back to the beginning. And of course, we're on for 6 hours a night, basically. So the monster did make that cool dog pic. So thanks for that. So there's lots of questions in the chat about stuff for Pittsburgh and game day and foils and cards I have to sell and stuff like that. I can't answer them all right now because I do need a breakdown because I got to give some guys some rides home. But again, thanks for watching. Thanks, Garrett, for sitting in on commentary. Thanks to Eric Schmidt, who was in here all evening. I thought it was very cool. Jordan came in.
He seemed very quiet.
He's quiet, but he added input when he needed to,
Yes.
which is perfect. And
Also
then
plays eggs.
yeah, he has the Aether Vial Knights as well. It's cool. But it was cool because like Jordan and Eric both came in. It was like Jordan was like, "Can we be commentated?" It was like, "Sure." And then Jordan, like as he always does, like immediately leaves to go play. He goes to play Commander and trade. But Eric sat in here the whole time, so I was very appreciative of him. I thought it was very well done. So thanks to those guys. Thanks to the guys for the camera as well as the shop for letting us play and do our stream here. So thanks again for watching. We'll be here the same time next week at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you click that follow button right up there. So you can be reminded to come and watch us. So thanks again. Go to our Facebook page. Stay tuned for
Just turn it off.
Harlem Shake. That's it.